Hello everybody and welcome to another shader graph tutorial. In this one we are going to look at a shader that you can apply to one object. So this flower is only one object that has only one material, and set the color of different parts based on the UV only. We are also going to look at how to create something similar for VFX graph, if you are interested in that too. So let's start with the normal particle system. What I did here is I have a random color between these two colors as a starting color, and you know, the good old stuff, some rotation, random rotation, and some random starting size, and the emission is rate over distance, and you can set whatever shape you want. Color over lifetime, I don't think it matters, to be honest, but then the size over lifetime is what makes it grow and then shrink back at the end. And here obviously we have to use mesh and assign our flower mesh to it, right? And what else? We need to assign the flower material that I'm gonna show what's the shader for. And I think that's pretty much it. So let's jump to the shader. And we can see that I am using the UVs of the object. I'm splitting it based on the x-axis, and I'm getting the floor of that value so that it jumps from 0 to 1 to 2, etc. And then I am checking if the value of UV on the x-axis is equals to 0. Then I want it to take this green value with some like change of temperature of that color based on the x, which looks something like this, something like a gradient basically, right? And so if it is 0, we are gonna take this green value, right? And it's going to be 0 for the leaf and like the main branch of the flower. Otherwise, if it is false, then we are going to look at this other value, which is another check. If the x of the UV is equals to 1, then I am going to use the vertex color, and the vertex color is what the particle system passes to the material as the color that you can set in the particle system. And so if the x of the UV is 1, then we are going to use the vertex color. Otherwise, we are going to use the vertex color with some offset on that color based on a parameter that we define, right? And so let me show you in Blender. This is our flower model, right? And as you can see, in our 0 to 1, 1 coordinates of the UV, we have the main branches as well as the leaves, right? And so that's everything that's going to be colored green. It's going to be in the 0. If you do a floor to this value, it's going to be in the 0 box on the x, right? And then the flower petals are going to be in the next box, which is from 1 to 2. And so flooring that value is going to be 1, and that's going to take our vertex color value. And then the this thing in the middle is going to be in the next box, which is from what is the value here? So here is 1, here is 2, from 2 to 3, and then you can obviously just do that by using the G, which does a grab, and then you click X to do it on the X axis only, and then you can click -2, and it's gonna go to the main place, right? And so this is my trick. based on the UV of the model, you can specify what color to choose, right? And so you just create a material out of that, and you can specify what's the green that you would like. And let's create some of these, do a pause, and then go here, and you can change, oops, you can change the green. You can also change the tint value, which is how much to change from the flower petals to get this value. You might find some other better way to randomize, maybe, or etc. this value. Okay, so that's it for our particle system. And for the VFX graph, you obviously need to import it from the package manager. You need to import the visual graph effects, and then, so let's remove this stuff, and let's take it back to where it was. Okay, and let's remove our capsule. Okay, and so this guy, let me open the graph itself. Wait for it. Let me dock it here. Let me save. And okay, so we have a rate spawn of whichever you want, which goes into the initialized particle. You can delete this. I'm not using it. And then set lifetime to something random. And for me, I'm just setting the position randomly, like in a square, as you can see. And that's by using this random number node, which has minimum and maximum value to be parameterized. So you only assign X and Y, and nothing in the update. And here you can see we have this shader graph, and it has to be a VFX shader graph. You cannot find all your shaders on here. And to enable this, you have to make sure that you go to preferences, and then visual effects, and this guy has to be enabled in order for you to see this shader slot in your output particle mesh. And then you will also see whatever parameters you expose from your shader, you will see here, and you can also change it based on whatever nodes you want. And so what I did was to have a gradient, and I'm sampling that gradient based on a random number. And also the tint value, this is the tint value, I'm just adding a random number to that. And finally, the VFX graph, you can see it here. If you create a shader, it says VFX shader graph. Looks very similar or almost the same as the other one. You can just do this and copy and come here and paste, and just connect the result to your color. I think the only thing that I changed was I made this opaque rather than alpha. Yeah, so that's gonna be it for this tutorial. Thank you so much for watching. If you would like to support me, you can check the links of my assets in the description, and have a nice one.